Today's guest is someone I've been eager to talk to. Lorraine Lewis is a name that's been stamped into rock history. She came out of Albuquerque, hit the LA scene when it was on fire, and built her place in an industry that didn't make it easy for women to break through. But she didn't just break through. She took the stage, owned the mic, and made sure people remembered her name. She first blew up with Femme Fatale, a band that brought big hooks, big energy, and real attitude. MTV played their videos nonstop, and you could even tell back then that Lorraine wasn't interested in doing things halfway. Later, she took on frontwoman duties for Vixen, another legendary female rock band, brought the same fire and presence every single time she hit the stage. But what I really respect about Lorraine is how she keeps creating. She's a producer, a writer, a fearless performer, and someone who knows how to adapt without losing herself. She's taken risks, made bold choices, and stayed connected to fans every step of the way. This is more than a career in music. It's a life lived out loud with purpose, guts, and a deep love for the craft. I love this conversation because Lorraine has stories and a whole lot of truth to share. So let's dive in. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. All right, we are here with another episode of 10,000 Miles, and today is a very special day. I'm very excited for this. I'm back to my roots of where my music and rock and roll journey began in the 80s with one of the queens of the genre, Lorraine Lewis. How are you today?
Oh, I am doing so great, Vic. Thank you very, very much for having me on your podcast. I'm really happy to be here. I will say before we got to being on camera and just getting to know each other a little bit, you did bring up Adam Curry, who is a friend of yours from the MTV days. And you'll have to ask him about when he had me on MTV. And I am and was and always will be the biggest flirt ever. And I flirted with him so much. And I think he got a little nervous. So you'll have to ask.
That would be Adam.
Yeah. I saw him squirm. I told him that, I was like, you're going to come on the tour bus and, what are we going to have for breakfast? Oh, yeah.
I can't wait. It's so great. I talk to Adam on a monthly basis. We got a little friend group that we're texting multiple times a day. So there's a lot of good stuff going on. But I'll be sure to tell him you said hello and that the bus is still waiting in case he just changed his mind, for sure.
Yes, he definitely was blushing, and I felt very proud of myself to make him.
Mission accomplished.
Anyway, hello, everybody. I am Lorraine Lewis, the one and only lead vocalist, lead singer, lead strutter of the band Femme Fatale, originated in Albuquerque, New Mexico back in the day. I am loving life, living life to the fullest. I am going to backtrack a little bit, but I do want to say just released a brand new single with Steve Brown, who co-wrote the song and produced the song and played some of the guitar parts on the song. I mean, there was a long list of people that have contributed to not only this song, but the whole album that we're working on for Cleopatra Records. I could not be happier to just be an example, if you will, of living life to the fullest, never saying no. I am the girl that will never go away. I will never stop. There is no stopping me forever. I will never, ever quit rocking and rolling. I will always be the girl dancing on the table. So that is who I am. So,
I love it.
So
we're already off to a good time.
Yeah. So going back to rock and roll, and Albuquerque, New Mexico is originally where I am from. Family of 6 kids. I'm number 3 of the oldest. And then there's 3, under us. My father always used to sing in church. He had a great voice. My grandmother, his mother, was a singer and a flamenco dancer, in Spain, actually.
Nice.
And so I think that kind of all of that goodness and music and flavor got into me and my brothers and sisters. And I was in bands. I was in top 40 bands, cutting my teeth, if you will, in Albuquerque, New Mexico, learning how to rock and roll for what, 3 sets a night? I mean, gee whiz, they got us for so cheap back then.
It's a job.
It was a job, and I really cut my teeth. I learned how to get a crowd to stand on their feet and throw their horns in the air. And I loved being in my band. My band back then was called Babe Ruthless. I was the Babe Ruthless. It was the 80s. We were a very popular top 40 band. Songs like Missing Persons and whatever was on the charts, Tony Basil. Oh, Mickey, you're so fine. That kind of stuff. And then Van Halen came out, and I fell in love with David Lee Roth. Not like I wanted him to be my boyfriend, just simply I wanted to be him.
I get it.
He ran out on stage, Albuquerque, New Mexico, Tingley Coliseum. I can't remember the year. But I stood on my chair all night long. I couldn't believe this band. I couldn't believe Alex and his brother, Eddie. I couldn't believe, just all of them together collectively was amazing. But it was Dave who got the most attention from me. Watching him strut on stage, crotch first, as he does. It's all about the crotch with Dave. And, I love that about him. Even to this day, he's cocky as hell.
Still does it.
I love my rock stars to be cocky. I just do. I want them to be cocky. I don't want my rock star it would be nice if we sit and we have tea together, whatever, but no, I want my rock stars cocky, over the top. Like that's what a front person is to me. And he just reeked it, some other favorites that I have, Liam Gallagher from Oasis.
Oh yeah.
Side note, I'm flying out to the UK in the morning to see Oasis on Friday. I'm over the moon excited.
That's awesome.
I cannot wait. But the ultimate rock stars, like that's the real deal. And living life the way that they choose and have fun with it. And I've had to defend my rock stars that people have opinions on and think that they're supposed to be like walking a certain line. Steven Tyler, like they're all flamboyant and big. And again, that's how I want my rock stars to be. So
I saw a funny meme the other day, and I'm not a guy who likes to offend anybody. And so if I offend somebody, I'm going to apologize in advance. But it was a video meme, and the first people, it said, sign that testosterone in men is dropping. And it was like an opening scene of Pantera doing Walk, right? And the hair is all over the place and it's angry. And then it's Machine Gun Kelly dancing. It's like, that was the other side of the video. Like we're losing the cockiness of rock stars here, we're losing it.
But I will tell you, no, MGK is super cocky.
Is he?
You might have seen that. Oh, are you
It was
kidding?
A little dance video.
No,
I don't know him personally.
It was a dance video. No, that guy is over the top, confident as F. Like, oh yeah.
Good for him.
So check it out. No, he's another great rock star. So, seeing David Lee Roth, again, I wanted to be David Lee Roth. I didn't want to hook up with him. I didn't want to hook up with the band. I just wanted to be Dave. And that is really the reason that I moved to LA to get a record deal. It was my friend. I've told this story before. My friend, Kathy Stanko, she lived in Albuquerque. She moved to LA. She was a dancer, a stripper at the Seventh Veil on Sunset Boulevard. She came back to Albuquerque one night. We had people around the block on a Tuesday night. We were that popular. And she, during a break, she sat there. She had a shot of Jack, one for me, one for her. And she said, you have to move to LA. There is no girl doing what you're doing in LA. It's all guys. And she knew all of them, from Rat to, just like all of them. She knew them all, Jakey Lee, all of them. And she said, you have to move to LA. And so I made up my mind that night that I was moving to LA, and we did shots. And now, of course, it got a little complicated because I'm saying I'm moving to LA, and the band thought we're moving to LA. And I said, no, we're not moving to LA. I'm moving to LA.
I'm moving. Okay.
So that was one of the first, forks in the road of Lorraine's independence and doing what she wants to do and not being tied down because maybe feelings were going to get hurt. And they did. They did for sure. But I had a vision, and I was going to make it happen. And that meant me moving to LA. I did move out with my keyboard player / guitar player. And we started putting a band together out in LA, but it was near impossible. We were living in a little apartment in Glendale. I was waitressing at Bob's Big Boy, which
Okay.
I had a history of working at Bob's Big Boy in Albuquerque. I was like head waitress. It was very
Okay.
good waitress.
You came with references.
Well,
Yeah.
I did. And I came with personality and like, let's do this. I became like, assistant head waitress in like a week. I mean, come on. It's not brain surgery. You just got to be nice and cool and like people and, treat them well. And, so we would put out ads in BAM Magazine, LA Weekly, Music Connection. People would come to the door. Now the 80s was, there was pop 80s and there was 80s, big hair 80s. And so we would get a lot of guys that would come to the door with, Thompson Twins look, or
70s hangovers. Yeah.
I'm looking for the next J.K. Lee. I'm looking for the next Randy Castillo, who's from Albuquerque, by the way, that played for
nice.
Ozzy.
I didn't know that.
Yes, Randy was so supportive. When I moved to LA, Randy and Phil Susan, they came to the shows. They were really supportive. Randy got me backstage at, it's now the Forum. Well, it was the Forum. Is it still the Forum? What is it called? In LA, the big, stadium that Ozzy Osbourne played in. And I got to go VIP backstage. I got to see Ozzy's wardrobe cases and all of his wardrobe. And there was food everywhere. And like, it was just so great. And that was, I want to say that was Bark at the Moon tour. Loved the song. It was such a great tour. And, Randy made all that happen. So I got a taste of, going from a bar band to seeing a Coliseum. And it's like, I want that. I really want that. So guys would come up to the door. We would look out the little peephole. Not the look we're going for. No, I don't think that they're going to play the way that we want them to play. And so I would just say, yeah, I can't open, like I wouldn't even open the door.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. I mean,
no one's home. Wrong door.
It was like, we don't got time for like, I don't want to chit chat and have tea. Like I got to find guitar players and badass bass. Like, no. So we did that for several months and then I moved back to Albuquerque. A lot of people can relate to this. Once you've been to LA and you've been to Sunset Boulevard and you've been over the hill and seen the diamond field of lights from Mulholland Drive, and then you go back home, there's no going back. Yeah. There is no going back. I mean, for the first time, I saw a policeman with a gun drawn on somebody on Melrose, and I was like, "Is this like a movie? Like
it's a movie set? No, it's real."
Oh, it's real. I mean, but once you've tasted that, like I lasted a week back home, and I was like, it's like I was in Pasadena, Burbank, not really LA, Hollywood, waitressing and all of that. And then it was like, I felt like LA and all of it was just so big, so massive. I was like the little teeny fish, like a guppy in this massive place. And then when I went back home, I felt like the big fish in like the little pond and like, I'm way too big for this now. Like, and it wasn't even that I had any kind of fame or anything. My attitude was too big for this now. Like I couldn't stay there. Like, what am I going to do now? I'm going to get married and have kids. Like, what are you going to do?
You were on a mission.
No.
I have a question for you. So what year is this actually?
Probably 87.
Yeah, it's perfect. So 87. I call this guy the mayor of Sunset. Did you ever come across and meet Mark Ferrari?
Oh, of course. I love Mark.
Yeah, Mark's great. I had done some work with Keel and went out to LA and spent a little time with Mark. Mark's a great dude. Found some success outside of the band. did well. But Mark was like, I remember going to the Rainbow with Mark, and it was like he was holding court. And it was just a fantastic time. But we had a blast that night. It was a crazy night.
Mark
Great.
Ferrari, he was a label mate on MCA.
Yep.
I have photos of him at events together with him. When Vince Neil invited me to play the Party Ninjas at the Santa Monica Civic, Mark was in my band, and we did Hot Blooded.
That's so cool.
He was my bass player. Yeah. I mean, I have lived a lot of life. I have done a lot of things. I have hung out with a lot of people. I have flown here and there and rocked out all over. And I mean, it is just getting started again.
Did you do the writing?
Did I do the writing on the Femme record?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was myself and the keyboard player. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, he wrote Fortune and Fame, and he wrote it about me. If you wish for that fortune and fame, you're going to fall. Like, yeah, it was a direct hit for me.
Talk to me about Waiting for the Big One. How did that come about?
Okay. So Waiting for the Big One was not written by us. Waiting for the Big One was written by Rick Nair and, Michael Cole. Cole. David Michael Cole. It was a song. We were getting ready to do the video with Marty Kullner, who, if you know Marty's work, Marty, actually, rest in peace, Marty. Marty changed my life. Marty was an amazing video director and movie director. He passed away March 17th of this year.
My birthday.
Oh my goodness. I have a couple.
Sad.
I have a husband that had that birthday, an ex. I've had a lot of those. So yes, Marty was really, really important in my life, because Marty, the two videos, Waiting for the Big One and Falling in and Out of Love, he directed those. I mean, we came out and did our thing, but you know, we worked with him. I loved him. He loved me. Him behind the camera, it was like, that's how we got the good performance of me flirting with him, basically.
Yeah.
And, you know, he changed my life with those two videos, but the song came about because we were getting ready to do the first video with Marty Kullner. And the label said, we need a slam dunk hit song. We originally were going to do My Baby's Gun. That was the video that we had planned to do. It's a real rockin' tune. It's a great song. Is it a hit? I don't know. We never gave it a chance to be a hit. The label said, we need a hit song. So they brought in David Cole and Rick Nair, and they delivered this song, Waiting for the Big One, which I think originated with the idea that in LA and California, you're always waiting for the big earthquake. And that's where the idea came. But then you put me in the mix and it turns into a whole different thing.
Yeah, big time.
So I don't even know if people realize this, but the opening of the video, and it pans really far and wide, and that was Marty's direction. And if you look in the right-hand corner, there's something there that looks like a tag that says, do not remove. That whole stage is made up to look like a mattress. So I don't know, I think that went over everybody's head.
I'll have to go back and look at it again.
You have it. So the stage was a mattress because the song is Waiting for the Big One. And so obviously, you know, took a sexual tone because, you know, and there I am rolling on the floor and all of this stuff. And so it was the 80s, man. That's what we did. I mean, you know, I tried out, I auditioned. Is it auditioned? I tried to get a job at the Tropicana as a mud wrestler. I mean, it was the 80s, people.
How'd that go? Did you have to wrestle anybody for it?
I got hired. Well, they wanted to hire me. But interestingly enough, I got hired and I didn't go back the next day. I just sat with myself and I was like, you know what? I'm a rock star, not a porn star. So, but then here we are years later and I have joined the OnlyFans arena. However, I am still not a porn star. I am a rock star. So, you know, and I have nothing against porn stars either. So it's just, it wasn't me. So, I did get hired. I did get hired to be a mud wrestler. And one of my best friends was a mud wrestler. That was Charisse Neal, who is married to Vince. She is one of my besties for sure. I just talked with her last night. But yeah, it was a wild time, really, really fun. And I just eventually had to call my brother back home and say, I'm not finding musicians for my band. So here's what's going to happen. You're moving to LA. You're going to that band, Dirty Blonde, and you're telling Bobby and Bill. Bobby was on drums. Bill was guitar player. I said, you're telling them they're moving to LA with you, and you guys are going to be my band.
Wow, that's neat.
And that's exactly what happened.
What'd your brother play?
He plays bass.
Okay.
And he's a good looking guy. Girls love him. He's great on stage, great stage presence. Bobby and Bill had the look. They had the long hair. They were gorgeous. Like, we had the best hair, this band. He had great hair. So that's what they did. And I was the ticket for them because they knew me from back home. They knew I was going to get a record deal. There was no doubt in my mind. And we made it happen. And so we started playing the Sunset Strip. We started playing No Bozo Jam Night that Ricky Rackman used to run. Ricky wanted to manage me and Femme Fatale. And around the same time, I started getting some buzz from a woman named Andrea Accardo, who was the secretary. Do they use that word anymore? Secretary? I don't know.
It's okay. Anyway, we're back in the 80s.
We're back in the 80s. So she used to work for Howard Kaufman. Howard Kaufman was a very, very important man. I knew that from HK Management. It was like Howard Kaufman, Irving Azoff, Gerald Busby, Marty Kollner, you know, like these were heavyweight men in the music industry. And somehow word got out about me. I got a phone call from Andrea, and she said, my boss, Howard Kaufman, wants to meet you. And I said, okay, great. Because I was looking for representation. I loved Ricky Rackman, but I had my sights bigger. I was like, you know, we can take over No Bozo Jam Nights, but you know, I want like real manager. And sorry, Ricky, I'm not saying you're not a real manager, but you know, so I had a meeting with them over on the Universal lot. I remember Andrea telling me, don't be offended if Howard spends like 5 minutes with you. But he's a very busy man. You know, he was handling Whitesnake and Poison and all sorts of deals with Irving Azoff. I mean, they were doing big stuff with TV, etc.
Yeah.
So I strutted into his office. I had short shorts on. They were denim. I had gotten a top at Goodwill Industries. It was like really tight and kind of shiny. I remember it was kind of copper colored. It had a bunch of buttons. I had my cowboy boots on. My hair was huge. And I walked into the office and we just hit it off. Howard was so cool. He was so nice. He was so gracious. He was so generous with his time. We talked. I was there for at least an hour. I was sitting on his desk. You know, I was just like, this is awesome. I was like, ah, you know, Albuquerque girl is here in the big city, huge management company. I was so excited. And, yeah, the meeting just went great. And so I left the meeting. You know, it's funny. I don't even remember, like, there was no Uber. Did I have a car? I don't even remember. Did I because I remember I drove to LA in my LeBaron, my Chrysler LeBaron convertible. Okay. But I don't remember like the details of how did I get there? Did I just like transport myself? I don't know.
That's great.
You know, so I just know it's sort of like a movie to me. I was in the office, hitting it off, sitting on his desk, playing with all the pens and pencils on his desk, laughing, just had a great time. And then I left. Andrea called me and she said, Howard loves you. He wants to manage you. And she said, but he has one question for you. I said, what's that? She said, he wants to know if he buys you a chest, will you wear it? And I said, yes, I'll wear it. Are you kidding me? Oh my God. Yes, double yes. Yes, I will wear boobs. If Howard's buying them, I'm wearing them. And that started everything. So I was basically going to sign with Howard Kaufman and Andrea was going to be my day-to-day person. Okay. I had a show with Femme Fatale the following week. Howard Kaufman himself came to the Whiskey A Go-Go with Andrea. they sat there in that little, I mean, we love the Whiskey a Go-Go, but little dingy place for this multimillionaire mogul, on a, Tuesday night or what have you. And, he sent a bottle of Dom Perignon backstage afterwards. And what Andrea told me that night was that at one point during the ballad, which was a song called Rebel, um, he tapped her like on her leg and he said, "She can sing." And Andrea said, "Yeah, she can sing." I think Howard is so visual that he was just thinking that, the visual, the look, but he was impressed because I could sing. I had a voice. Howard Kaufman, and I'm just going to say it, the band Heart, he managed Heart, and Howard Kaufman was very, very instrumental in the resurgence of Heart back in the 80s. They might not have agreed with the outfits that they wore, but the boobs and the push-up bras and all the stuff that they did catapulted them, along with their songs, catapulted
It was
them.
a full package.
And that was Howard Kaufman. So Howard knew what he was doing. And so to be in the same room with Howard, wanting him to manage me and coming to the Whiskey and digging what I do and getting me was huge for me. And that was the beginning. And it was Howard that brought, he brought the guys in. He brought Irving Azoff in. He brought Famous Music in for publishing. He brought in Marty Kullner for the videos. I mean, Marty is famous for, the Tawny Katane videos, Rolling on the Wires. Mm-hmm. Twisted Sister, Cher with the ass showing with the tattoo on her ass. I mean, those are all Marty Kullner. And, Marty went on to, he produced and created and directed a show on HBO called Hard Knocks. That is a Marty Kullner show. And years later in 2013, when I had the reality show bug and I wanted to do a show called Ex-Wives of Rock, Marty is the first person I called. And it was Marty that helped me get that show off the ground. And we started working on a sizzle reel together.
So cool.
Marty is a very important person in my life. We had recently talked in September about doing a documentary together about the women of the 80s and how important they were, because you hear so many of the rock god stories, but I want and still do want to do a documentary about the women behind the men.
What was it like coming into the 80s? You're right. There weren't a lot of female-fronted bands. And certainly there weren't a lot of female David Lee Roths, if you know what I mean.
No.
So, you're coming in, you're blazing a trail. You've got a vision. You've got the band. You didn't settle. Nobody from the Flock of Seagulls need apply. Great band, by the way. Was a big fan of the Flock of Seagulls, but not what you were going for. I get it. What was it like for you being, sort of the tip of the spear, so to speak?
Well, it was a blast. First of all, it's like I'm the only girl in the room most of the time. I love that still to this day. So, I'm all about it. I mean, I know I was in Vixen for 5, almost 6 years, but man, I like being the only girl in the room. Hands down. So that was really fun. Just all the affection and the attention and somewhat, thinking, I didn't think I was a trailblazer on any level. I just thought I'm here to do what I want to do, which is rock and roll. Like I didn't see men or women like different. I just thought I want to be a rock and roll star. I want to do music. I want to tour. I want to, I want to do all the stuff. And so I didn't really think about it. I just set out to do it. Looking back, I can see that there were definitely some roadblocks, but I never really saw them when I was in it.
We often don't.
Yeah, the radio people were great. I never saw a casting couch, no one ever treated me poorly in that regard or look, it was the 80s again.
Yeah.
Was there sexual innuendo? Of course.
Yeah. And everything.
It was the 80s. Like it just wasn't a thing. There was nothing wrong with it. It was just all good fun. But I do recall, they would play one female on the radio and, Lita Ford was very popular during the same time that I was coming out because of the Runaways and Sharon Osbourne and all of the stuff that she had going on. So, I would show up at a radio station, and if I saw Lita's poster on the wall, I knew that they weren't going to play Femme Fatale. Or if I
Really?
saw Vixen on the wall, because it meant that they got there first. That was it. But if I looked around, I saw Guns N' Roses or Bullet Boys, I was like, we have a chance here. And sure
That's
enough,
interesting.
we would get that station. So right out of the gate, I think Waiting for the Big One got 54 stations across the country, which was pretty good for a baby band. And then we just got on the road with Cheap Trick. That was my birthday gift on my birthday that year.
Amazing.
6th of September. I remember Howard calling me and saying, I have a birthday gift for you. And I was like, yay, what? I was like, I already have boobs. Like, now what? And he said, you're going on tour with Cheap Trick. And man, talk about elated, over the moon, excited. He sent a limo to our shitty little apartment to pick us all up to get us to LAX. I have photos of that. It's the coolest, getting into to the limo, going to our first tour with Cheap Trick. And that was the Flame tour. And I love the song.
Oh my God, that was huge.
Huge tour for us. Flame song was huge. Robin's voice, amazing. I got to sit on the side of the stage and listen to him every night, hit those notes, and he hit them every night. He's one of my
favorite bands of all time.
Yeah.
I did a little writing back in the day, and I worked with a writer. Her name was Jana Allen. I don't know if you ever came across Jana. Really, really just a great, great person, talented writer. And we were in New Jersey, and she's like, I want to stay. I want to finish this song. But God, the last bus is like at midnight. No, it was like at 10 p.m. And I got to leave now to catch it. And I just said, let's keep working. I'll drive you back to the city. It was about an hour and a half outside of the city, right? And so she says, and I'm going to tie this back to Cheap Trick in a second. So we drive back in. Oh, she goes, hey, can you stop at the liquor store? I'm like, yeah, sure. This is great. So she's like, I just want to pick up something. I think she wants something from when we get back to the city. No, she's chugging a bottle of champagne while I'm driving in the car up the New Jersey Turnpike. And I'm like, wow, okay, this is even cooler. But the long story short is we get there. She's like, you can't go back. We have to go out for a drink. Like, I'm too wired now. It's wide awake.
Love it.
Whatever. I'm like, great. She goes, come up to my apartment. I'm going to get changed. We're going to go out for a drink. Great. Go up there. Pictures of Tom Peterson all over the place. She was Tom Peterson's girlfriend from Cheap Trick. And wow. I became a little bit of a groupie. It never happened. I've flown with John Bon Jovi on planes. I've been around rock stars. I've been around Roy Thomas Baker, the biggest producers ever. I never really got fazed by it, but I was such a big Cheap Trick fan. I was like, hey, why do you have all these pictures of Tom Peterson around here? Oh, he's my boyfriend. He's on tour. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. And for the rest of the night, I was like, I'd say 65% talking about Cheap Trick. It was probably more like 90. And she's like, okay, whatever. I gotta get the hell out of here. But, just,
so, cool.
So funny. Yeah, it was great. Great. She was
story.
great. She unfortunately passed away from cancer maybe 15 years ago or so. She was such a sweet, talented person.
Love to look up her catalog. I mean, she was around all that greatness. I'm sure she was a great songwriter. I would love to hear something.
Yeah. She was a great person too. She was really great.
Cool.
Yeah, it's good stuff. So how long did it take for you to get a deal?
10 shows. 10
Come
shows.
on. That's ridiculous.
I know. It's true. True.
Wow, that's phenomenal.
But it was, it was a collective effort. It was Irving Azoff. It was MCA Records. It was, Gerald Busby came to the showcase. By the way, it was a Manhattan record showcase that I invited MCA Records to.
Okay.
I didn't understand protocol. It's like,
good for you.
Manhattan wanted to pay for a showcase. Okay, awesome. I'm going to invite everybody. And this woman, Andrea, really wants MCA to come. Great. The more, the better. I love performing in front of a crowd. So I invited everybody. So
where'd you have the showcase?
I want to say it was at Lead Studio in the Valley.
Okay.
And so, I mean, there was catering. There's all the guys from Manhattan. And then in walks MCA Records, and they all know each other. So it was awkward. And
Yeah.
Andrea says, "Oh, I didn't know this was a Manhattan Records showcase." I'm like, "Is that a problem?" I hear showcase. I just hear showcase. Like, we're putting on a show. So Gerald Busby was the head of A&R back then. He shows up from MCA. And so they did the polite thing. MCA went up to the rafters up there, the seat this, it was like, it's either be down here in front of the stage or up there. So MCA went upstairs to watch the show. And at one point during Rebel, I'm looking up doing my thing, and it's an emotional song, and I'm just giving it everything I've got. And I'm looking up there, and all I see is lights. But the next day, I get a call from Howard that Gerald Busby wants to meet me, and we're all going to have a meeting because MCA wants to offer us a record deal, because Gerald Busby had a moment with me when I was looking up into the rafters and our eyes met.
Wow.
And he felt a charge of command, and this girl is a star and all of this stuff. And Gerald Busby, may you rest in peace. You changed my life forever. But he was the reason. He had a moment. And to be really honest, I mean, I was blinded by the light, and but I was performing and doing my thing. He felt a special connection, and that is what led to the record deal and MCA signing us.
Amazing. Who produced your first record?
It was Jim Faraci.
Oh, really? How'd that go for you?
It went great. I mean, Jim is a great guy. He's still a great friend. We've talked about working on something together. He works in television now. I love Jim. Paul Stanley was interested in producing us, and I met him at the Whiskey briefly at one of my shows. His schedule was locked in, and we had a time frame that we wanted to get everything done by. It just didn't match. I don't even know if he remembers that he had talked with HK about producing the record. But yeah, Jim Faraci did a great job. And then Tom Werman came in, and we redid Rebel with Tom Werman. We redid Falling In and Out of Love with him as well. Fallen. Maybe he did 3 sides. I think he did Fallen. Oh, he did Fallen and Rebel. Yeah.
Okay.
Tom Werman. And that was with John Purdell and Dwayne Barron, engineering. I didn't see a lot of Tom in the studio, but he's a busy guy.
That's pretty funny.
All I know is that MCA was spending money, man. But good old days. Really fun.
Record comes out. You pick up 54 stations in short time. You start getting a buzz going. It was the first tour, the Cheap Trick tour, or was there something before that?
No, it was all Cheap Trick. We went out with them, have the best time. I learned so much. I learned to rest. I learned to not be in the same wing as my bandmates because they're noisy and they're on the road being boys, and I don't want to hear anything. One of them is my brother. I don't want to know anything. They would put me in a different wing of the hotel so I could sleep, because the biggest for me was always I needed rest. When you're tired and you're on tour, this is the first thing, at least with me, that goes. Yeah. And so I really got used to my rest. I learned from Robin Zander. He probably does now. I mean, I don't know. He used to not speak during the day. He would write during the day.
Really?
You don't whisper. You don't whisper. That's even worse. You just don't talk. So he taught me that. And so I just wouldn't talk during the day because, even in interviews, it was always me, and I'm animated. So I give a lot. I'm always rocking the house, whether it's in an interview or on stage. So I learned to dial it back and just chill during the day. And that would save my voice for, coming out on stage and all of that. So yeah, good times.
Did you ever did you ever get any vocal coaching, training, anything like that?
I did. I worked with Ron Anderson.
Okay.
Ron Anderson worked with Axl Rose, and he's worked with everybody, and Ron was great. So HK, they all, I had all the people. you know.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you had on the showcase that we do, we have the big showcase at the Roxy for the record release party, and we were getting ready to go out on tour. And 2 days later is when we were going to do the video with Marty. And I did some crazy kick during the showcase, and I ripped my hip flexor.
Oh.
And, the next day they're taking me to the Hollywood doctors, and they injected me with cortisone. Hurt like hell. Oh my God. They put that big needle right where it
Oh,
hurts
yeah.
the most, and then you're instantly okay. But yeah,
Healed. It's magic
'cause
juice.
yes. Otherwise, I was thinking we might have to reschedule this video, and there was no doing that. It was going to be like a $50,000 fine with Marty. And, and I didn't want to not do the video. I tore something. So
Cortisone and lidocaine is the cocktail. And
that's
unfortunately, I've had it a couple of times. And it is the most painful thing when it's happening, but almost within instant results. Like, oh. And the crazy thing about that stuff is it's not only that spot that feels good. You just feel good everywhere. You're like, I can do whatever I want to do. My dad, may he rest in peace, went through cancer treatments. And the day before he would go for chemo, I would take him to the treatment center, and they'd juice him up. They'd give him steroids and a shot called Neulasta and all the stuff that was built up his immune system. Well, that day he's like, I don't know why they think I'm sick. Wow, look what I can do. And he's doing push-ups on the floor. It was all the steroids. But then, of course, the treatments would take their course. But I met a friend at a gym here who was an ER doctor for a while. He said to me, our saying with patients that are critical and near death is, he goes, nobody should die without first the benefit of a steroid injection. And he said, so because it's so, the body's so responsive to steroids. It's crazy.
Yeah, it did the trick, and I rocked and rolled like crazy. I rappelled from the ceiling. So by the way, perfect segue. Fearless back then, fearless now. I jump out of a plane in the new video, living like there's no tomorrow. Is
that the first time you've done that?
It's the first time I've done it. I knew I wanted to do it for a while. I had put money down to do it. Oh gosh, 5 years ago. And the weather was really bad where I was living. This was in Washington State. They kept rescheduling me because they wouldn't fly. And then I moved away from the area, and I've never gone. And so I knew I was jumping out of a plane for this video, and it was experience of a lifetime. I highly recommend it for everybody. It is a blast. It is surreal. I wasn't scared at all. I jumped with a great guy named Solomon over at Paris, a skydiving school here in Paris, California. It's about an hour away from me. I live in Palm Springs, and I took a behind the scenes cameraman girlfriend with me, and I just had a blast. You just you're
and
looking
you had
up.
A heck of an outfit, by the way.
Thank you. I always show up.
It was great. You did show up. And by the way, for folks listening, watching, all of Lorraine's assets will be posted in the description section. And I will lead off with the link to the new video and song, because it's a banger. It's unbelievable. It's a great song. The performance is great. The vocal is phenomenal, Lorraine. It really is. We all move on in life, and you just don't know what to expect. And I see my favorite artists, they lose a little bit of an edge, some more than others. And then next thing you know, you'll go into a concert and you just hear go, shit, they're tuned down to D. Oh shoot, they're tuned down to C. This is a low tuning because they can't hit the notes anymore. You crushed it. You crushed it. Just my hat's off to you. You haven't missed one step, haven't skipped a beat. Your voice is so strong and so powerful and so beautiful. And I want everybody who's watching this to go out and listen, stream, buy, do everything they possibly can to support you. It was, I was floored. I knew if Stevie was involved in it, that was going to be good. I didn't expect unbelievably great. And it was unbelievably gret. It really was.
Vic, that's the sweetest thing. Thank you so much for the compliment.
You're welcome.
When Steve reached out to me a year ago, and said, let's do a record. I said, hell yeah. I mean, it was much like when Howard said, let me buy you boobs. Same kind of a thing. As like Steve Brown says, let's do a record. You say, yes. When can we start? And, Steve is a great guy. He's become such a great friend. I love Steve so much. This is the first song is, Living Like There's No Tomorrow. He brought me the chorus. I thought it was amazing. It really spoke to me because that is really how I live my life to the fullest. Again, I'm the girl that won't go away. I'm the girl that isn't going to stop. I'm always going to be dancing on a table and having fun and laughing at life. And the song just spoke to me. And then I wrote the verses and the bridge, and it sums me up. And I think it's relatable to people because we all need to kind of, in my opinion, do live every day like it's last, like what are we doing? Like,
we're saving it all for a time that may never come.
Exactly.
I mean, this is, my mom died at 63 of ovarian cancer. My dad at 71. And they lived like there was always going to be a tomorrow.
Yes.
And they were very conservative, and they were great people, and they were great parents. But it changed me. It changed me and made me go out, which is why I have episode 69 recording of a podcast right now and keep moving on. I want to pay another compliment to you, but I want to do it in the form of a story, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
When I was in the music business, I had recorded and produced a bunch of records with a bunch of bands, and I had a partner in the business. His name was Jack, and we would split up duties in the studio. We could work 20-hour days easy because of the way we handed out stuff. The thing I always did was I sat behind the console for vocals. I got the performances out of people. It was one of my absolute favorite things to do. I loved it. I can picture the 5-10 studios I've been in. I can picture who's on the other side of the glass. I can listen to a song. I can recall those times. And there have been times where I listen to people sing, and I will put in a set of, good earbuds, or put on a set of headphones and really tune in on the vocal. And I did that with your latest release. And I said to myself, man, I wish I was on the other side of that glass when that was recorded.
Thank you. That's the sweetest.
It was so well executed and real and natural and performed. And I wish I was on the other side of the glass for that vocal performance. So it's great all the way around, but that's the highest compliment I could possibly give somebody. It's really great. Really great. And I'll stop making you blush. And I know you don't want else to.
Blush, baby.
I give the blushing.
Yeah, I don't blush. Thank you. That's really generous of you. I appreciate it. The engineer, we're doing things a little different than we did back in the day, right? It's like, I don't have all my band members all ready to go in a band room, ready to go. Steve is at the helm. Steve is, lets me have full reign of what I'm doing. I work with an engineer named Scott Gutierrez. Scott has been a great friend for 20 years. He used to work with Dr. Dre. He was Dre's like engineer for decades.
Nice.
With Tupac. I mean, he's really cool. So he gets me, and I go into his studio in the Valley, and we just work. And I got the best performance I could get with Scott, and then send it over to Steve. And then Steve does his thing and adds some harmonies and this and that. And then Bruno, I can't remember his last name right now. Mixes and masters, and
nice.
You've got a record. So we're doing things different. There's going to be different players on all of the songs. We have about 7 songs done right now. I do want to just live in the moment of living like there's no tomorrow for as long as we can and keep pushing that single. However, we are slated to go back in to do another video, the end of August, with, Vicente Cadero, who did this last one with me. We have another
great job,
song,
by the way. Great job.
Thank you. Yeah, he's super great. I will say the vision was mine because it was, I didn't want to have a full band yet. This was about me showing up as me, and here I am, and I am not going away. I'm never going to leave you guys. And, you know, the symbolism of all white, it's a rebirth. Here we go.
Love it.
So that has me.
I love the depth in the video. Like the depth is just, for me, it's just right. The lights are way in the back. You're pushed way up front, but you're beautifully lit. The white mic stand, the white outfit, the flowing hair, like, you know, it was really great. And it did the job, because if you want to say I'm back and here I am, this is what I'm doing, mission accomplished, because, it's in your face in a great way.
Thank you.
I've sent the link to a bunch of friends, by the way, who are, some are 80s freaks, like they love 80s music, and some just are music freaks. Everybody I've sent it to loves it. Some had some nice comments about how attractive you are. I'll leave those, you know, for their own YouTube comments. You know, they loved it, but we all know that's true. But they're like, holy cow, blah, 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 whatever. But everybody, unanimously, everybody loved the track. They loved the video. It was really great. Hey, I want to peel you back a little bit, because we missed a spot. We jump right to the real, you know, the end, which I think is the most powerful stuff. But I want, if you can, we got a few minutes. Tell me about how you got the call for Vixen, what that experience was like, and then we'll come out of it. Give me, you know, 5 or 10 minutes on that if you got it.
Well, sure. So I have known of the band obviously forever. You know, it's surprising to me that we didn't hang back in the day, but we just didn't. You know, I mean, I don't know. We just didn't know each other. I didn't know Lita either. It's like everybody was just on their own mission to do their own thing. I would have loved that camaraderie back in the 80s. That
would have been great.
It would have been great for all of us, especially if any of us felt that it was a man's world. It would have been great for us to unify together back then, instead of doing like an all girls night tour now. You know what I mean? Like that would have been really powerful, but I don't know. It just didn't happen. So I've known the band for a long time. I've known Roxy for over 30 years. Roxy and I had a project together called Rocktopus with Jeff Young on guitar, and released a couple of singles. This is ages and ages ago. A song called Naked and a song called Dog Bite, and they're really cool. And then I was doing Femme Fatale. I was doing the female version of Femme Fatale, Monsters of Rock Cruise. That band was together for 7 years. And then at one point, you know, I do have a career in television. I'm a TV producer. Not only did I create Ex-Wives of Rock, but I have worked for Renegade 83 Productions for the last 10 years. I am now working for Peter Higgins Casting, he was the head of casting at Renegade, but they've gone separate ways. And so now I'm with Peter. My nickname is The Closer, by the way.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw that. I heard that. The Closer.
So working in television, and I loved it. And I had just gotten done with the show Monsters of Rock Cruise with Femme Fatale, and I felt satisfied. I felt like, I think I've taken this as far as I can take this band. You know, it was starting to get more challenging putting the things together, because the Iron Maiden guitar players were playing so much, and it was just starting to be heavy. I won't say it wasn't fun. It was still fun. I still love being on stage, but it was just a lot to carry. And so I called Sullivan Big and I said, I'm going to move on. I'm going to stay in television, and, you know, maybe the next project will come along, but I think Femme Fatale is wrapped for now. And he was shocked, but he accepted what I was saying. And then the next day, Roxy called me, and I just said, she was just like, what do you got going on? What are you doing? And how's Femme Fatale? And I said, well, funny that you called today, because I actually just told Sullivan that I'm putting it to sleep for a little while, and I'm kind of like done. And she said, done? What do you mean done? She said, you're not done. I said, well, I'm not done, but I'm kind of done for this. And then she said, well, off the record, you know, Janet is leaving the band, and you are our first choice.
Wow. There are no coincidences, by the way.
Yes.
There are no coincidences. This is in alignment with the universe's plans for you.
100%.
Yeah.
And so I was overjoyed. I was happy. I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And I was married at the time. And I said, I need to talk with my husband about it. And I said, but as far as I'm concerned, like, hell yeah, this sounds great. I definitely got pushback from the husband, wasn't excited about it. But if you're going to be married to me, you got to know that we're going to do music until we're not here anymore. So he kind of had to get with the program. And we turned it into the most positive that we could with that relationship. And I joined Vixen, and I loved every minute of it. I loved working with Cher on bass. I loved later when Julia came in. I loved all of it, every bit of it, the great shows, the touring, the fans. I mean, I really treated that band like it was my own. I knew it wasn't, and I never crossed that line with it, but I definitely treated it with love and kid gloves, and felt honored and grateful to step into Janet Gardner's shoes on any level. She's an amazing singer, a different kind of singer than I am. She's more like an Ann Wilson kind of a singer. She's got a great voice. And so I was really honored and grateful to step into that role for as long as I did. Really grateful for the fun that we had, the closeness that we had. I got to play Vixen Festival where I crowd surfed for 60,000 people. We did Gogler Fest, or however you say that, in Sweden. We did Brazil. I mean, I had some amazing shows that I got to front the band for, and I want more of it, and I'm not done. So, that just, I was with them for almost 6 years, and then Roxy decided to take the band in a different direction. I still to this day don't know what that meant exactly, except that it meant that I was no longer going to be in the band, is what that meant. And so I've never been given a reason. I was told I didn't need a reason. And so I guess that is the end of that story.
That's the reason. It is what it is.
It is what it is. And I think that partly it was because I'm supposed to be doing exactly what I'm doing now, which is getting back to what I do, which is nobody telling me what to do or suggesting what I do, just me being me and doing what I know to do, which is life and love and rock and roll the way I know how to do it. I'm a belter. I'm a belter singer. I'm not the kind of voice that you put on American Idol. I'm not that. I don't do riffs like I'm in your face, rock and roll. Let's have fun. We're going to stand on our feet all night because those are the bands and those are the people that got me.
You loved
wanting to do this. Yes.
If you, I don't know if the last time you read some of the comments on the videos or on the new video that you have out, but it, I wouldn't say it surprised me. I was pleased by the depth of the fan base that you still have. You've built a loyal fan base over the years, and people were so happy, like, oh, Lorraine's back. Oh, wow, you sound so amazing. You've connected through so many platforms. You mentioned OnlyFans, you're out on the socials, like you've been on tour, you've done all this stuff. What does this fan base mean to you? Like how, tell me when you hear that. Yeah, I hear you, Lorraine. I'm choked up for you, and I read some of that stuff. I'm like, my gosh, look at this, man. The love and the generosity of these people, just incredible. What does that mean to you?
Well, first I'm going to say you're a good host, because in television, we always love it when we get some tears out of somebody. Good job. Good job.
All right.
I have my eye on you. Hard to even put into words what the fans mean to me, because for me, they keep me going. Like, look, I don't have any husbands. I don't have a boyfriend. I go out on dates. I do date 29-year-olds. Yes, it's true.
Because you can.
I do. And I love the affection and I love the attention. but I don't have any more pets. They're all gone. I'm getting ready to embark on what's next for me. And so it's just me. And my social network is so important to me because they keep me going. They love what I do. They laugh with me. I feel like it's an authentic friendship. I don't take it for granted. I don't take it lightly. I communicate with all of them as best as I can. They get a kick out of me. And because they get a kick out of me, I get a kick out of me. So, I think that they're just so important. It's not the cheesy, oh, they're like a family. It's just that
Yeah.
they are my tribe. They are my people. If you are a Lorraine fan, and I just spoke in third person, like back in the day, but if you're a Lorraine Lewis fan and we connect on a level, then you get me and you're here for a reason because you're getting something from me. And I appreciate them showing up. They show up for my live Q&As every Sunday at 5 p.m. Pacific. They have great questions. They keep me going. It's so fun. In the morning, I do a little prance out, with whatever I slept in or change into something cute in front of my big mirror and say good morning to everybody. And it just keeps me going. I love social media. I want 1 million followers. I want, 2 million followers, and I'll get there eventually. But
You
I
will.
really have an authentic relationship with my people, just like I do on OnlyFans. It's an authentic relationship. It's no BS. What you see is what you get with me. I'm here to live life to the fullest, to keep my foot on the gas. And if I can, because I live this way, get you to live this way on any level where you're blocking yourself from living life to the fullest, I'm here to help you. It's not over till it's over. And that's what the song says. Like, until I say I'm done, 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 I'm in your face and we are rocking and rolling to the max.
I love it. Well, I'm going to keep to my word, and I'm going to keep us at about an hour here. I could talk to you for the next 3 hours, by the way. And I got so much more to chat to you about. And it's funny, these things happen to me all the time. I meet somebody for the first time, they come on the show, but they come through somebody I know. So I know there's a kindred spirit out there. And then all of a sudden I feel like I just spent the hour with an old friend.
Yeah.
And so thank you so much for coming on. I want to give you a few last words. If there's anything you want to talk about, you want to promote, you want to reiterate what's coming up, what's next. And then I'd like to close out the show if you don't mind.
Sure. Well, I just first of all want to say thank you so much. Really generous with your time and really sweet. You have a great voice, really soothing. So I can see why everybody just spills it with you. So, really good and good production. You got the tears, all the stuff. So well done. And really thankful and grateful to be here. Love all the people that message me on social media, everybody that's signing up on OnlyFans and getting a kick out of it. Whether whether you think it's a goof or a spoof, or you're not into it, or it's too racy for you, or whatever, it's okay. Everybody can have their opinion of whatever you think I am. But at the end of the day, I'm just me. I'm a real person. And I am can be probably your best friend because you can tell me anything and I'm not going to freak out. I'm not going to judge you. Like, seriously, I have 4 ex-husbands. Come on.
It's like a collection.
I have a collection. I don't judge people. I've never written a mean comment on social media. I'm just, old school rock and roll, come from a good family. And I just like having fun. And I think that we are here to have fun and to lift each other up. And, I stay in my own lane. I don't get into politics, stay in my own lane with everything. No judgment. You have a safe place to land with me. I'm here to be your friend. So thank you to everybody. And thank you, Steve Brown, for just, I won't say taking
He's
a
the
chance
best.
with me, but for reaching out to me and saying, let's do a record. There is much, much more to come. The next single and video is going to be dropping. We're going to be dropping videos and singles every 6 to 8 weeks. And then at the end of all of that, in 2026, we're dropping all of the music on a CD and album. So that's how we're doing things. Different.
I love it. Before I say my final piece, I have something for you to consider, and you don't have to even answer this question here. As a matter of fact, I request you don't. But when you start introducing other people into your videos, I would love to see a Steve Brown solo cameo. in one of your videos. And I even said to him, who recorded this solo? How come you're not dressed up in your best white outfit? And you're not up there with our girl, Lorraine? Like, what's happening here? He chuckled, he laughed back. But should you consider it? Should you get to a spot where somebody will float in and float out? He is just a gem of a human being. He's a great soul. He's a great guy.
I will say that was his choice not to do that solo.
Oh, really? Okay.
I
thought it was his. I didn't know it wasn't his solo.
RJ Ronquillo.
It's a great solo.
It's a great solo. It's a
great solo.
Yes.
Good for him.
But I mean, look, there were 3 guitar players on the song, you know, and Sean McNabb was on bass. I mean, again, just a unified show of love for me and the project. And that's kind of how we're doing things. You know, Joel Holstra has played on one track so far. He's going to play on another one.
Mega
Sean
talent.
Played a lot of bass, Bumblefoot. Yeah, I mean, you got the
lineup. You got the lineup.
Everybody in. I feel so lucky. I am the luckiest girl on the planet.
You got the lineup. Well, I'll end with this. Thank you for your time today. I look forward to maybe catching up with you in 6 or 8 months if you'd come back and tell us how things are going. That would be a ton of fun. You're super nice. I really enjoyed talking to you. You're absolutely beautiful. Thank you. I'm sure my audience will agree. And have an amazing rest of your week and enjoy your trip across the pond.
It's going to be so fun. I have a meet and greet on Sunday, and I'm performing with a band, 2 songs. I'm doing Falling In and Out of Love and You Shook Me All Night Long with a band called Westworld. I think that's what it is.
Fantastic.
You know, I put this meet and greet together last minute, but man, I haven't been to the UK in a while. So people are saying they're going to show up. So I'm going to have 8x10s for people and the whole thing. So old school,
Enjoy it. Enjoy it.
Thank you so much.
Please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe.